The Legacy Access woke media is trying to declare that they broke J.K. Rowling. They took control of the Harry Potter franchise with a boycott that never materialized. Today, we'll tell you what is being orchestrated behind the scenes to take away your favorite IPs and industries in entertainment. It is a dandy of a day, folks, and we are so happy that you've come our way. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we continue to give you the truth served up on a platter of chatter. And yes, the truth is with a capital T. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment down below. Let us know, did you play Hogwarts Legacy? And are you shocked? Are you surprised that they're trying to take credit for the demise of a game that sold more than 25 million units? We'll talk about it right now. It's coming to you from Game Rant. If Hogwarts Legacy 2 wants to avoid the same boycotts its predecessor faced, the sequel cannot take the same approach that the original did. Oh my, guys, girls, did you know? Oh my, what are they gonna do? Oh wait, there's a community note. Important distinction on the first game's boycott, as it was a niche boycott attempt. The headline of this article could lead people to think it was an effective boycott. The total sales for Hogwarts Legacy as of March 2025 is estimated to be 35 million copies. Oh, this is delicious. This is too great. Yep. Coming to you from that Park Place, from Marvin Montanaro, the gaming media still thinks Hogwarts Legacy needs saving from a boycott. That never happened. The gaming press just can't help itself. This week, Game Rant published an article claiming Hogwarts Legacy 2 must follow its instructions, of course, to avoid the same boycott that allegedly haunted the first game. It's a claim so absurd it borders on parody, because Hogwarts Legacy sold over 34 million copies. No boycott stopped it. No controversy derailed it. The game was a monster success. So why are journalists still pretending there's a problem to solve? And it goes on to talk about the myth of the boycott. Marvin, I suggest people go over here and read this, but walk us through your views on this. We've got legacy woke media now pretending they had victories that never happened. What in the world is going on here?
The gaming media is still incensed about Hogwarts Legacy 1. They tried everything in their power to get this game to fail, and it was the single biggest launch in the history of WB games. It is, like I said, 34 million copies, lit up Twitch like a Christmas tree, and they are aggravated because this game succeeded without their permission, bro. Essentially, what happened was there was this progressive outcry because of J.K. Rowling and all this other stuff. And Game Rant is trying to say, you have to do things our way if you're going to make this second game succeed, even though the first game was an overwhelming success. Now, one of the things that they're saying in this article is that they want there to be more, inclusivity when it comes to people who, essentially trans characters, which there was a trans character in the first game. Never mind the fact they were like, oh, well, maybe you can make one the main character. And we were like, wait a minute. You create your own character in Hogwarts Legacy. You also have the ability to create a male or female character in Hogwarts Legacy and then assign them the title of witch or wizard independent of their body type. So you can do that if you want to do that already. So there's not much more you can give. And I think Avalanche and WB Games now knows they don't have to give these people anything, because there's nothing that would make them happy. Absolutely nothing. And they tried.
Marvin, is this some sort of psychological thing where they are pretending as adults that they can control J.K. Rowling and her followers, and they have no control whatsoever, but they're still they're reasserting a falsehood. Maybe they're self-identifying with a group of people that were successful in controlling the population when they were not.
Well, it boils down to the fact that they can't handle the fact that J.K. Rowling's views on gender are not deal breakers for 100% of the gaming audience. And the people that it was a deal breaker for was such a minute percentage of the overall audience that it made no difference in the game's success whatsoever. And that is an important distinction to make, because it's also indicative of what we saw in the 2024 election, where basically everyone has kind of rejected this ideologically driven society, and they're moving on to just wanting normal stories again. They just want to be entertained, and Hogwarts Legacy entertained a whole lot of people.
Now, there's another part to this story, folks, and that is that the woke media, the legacy access media, they're being driven insane too, because a big plan they had is completely evaporating. The big plan was a propaganda ecosystem that has fallen apart. If we go to that Park Place again, this also by Marvin, this is just breaking. Kim Belair finally admits Sweet Baby Inc.'s real role in AAA gaming while railing against critics. Quote, "We did nothing wrong." For those who don't know, Sweet Baby Inc., well, actually, Culture, could you explain what it is that Sweet Baby Inc. does? You or Jonas, who would like to take a swing at being our mini Wikipedia for Sweet Baby Inc.?
I would rather be a Grokkapedia, but I think Jonas should take a swing at it because he's going to say less curse words.
Jonas, what is Sweet Baby? And no, it's not formula for infants.
Yeah, so they would call themselves narrative consultants, but what they really are is sensitivity readers that are meant to come into a game and help you work through the story points and flesh out the story points. You know, all those little things like side quests. That's so important that you make sure that in your game that's probably about shooting people or swinging through New York City, that make sure those side characters that you want to get past as soon as possible have fully realized lives or something like that.
Now, they basically come in and they wokeify AAA games. Is that right?
Right. So the surface level is what I described. But
yeah,
in actuality, what they are is a sensitivity reader that's meant to come in and figure out all the ways that your game could be offensive. And I've talked to people from large AAA studios that have best-selling games that you all have heard of, and they talk about what Sweet Baby Inc. does, and they warned us about things that were not even on our radar. It's amazing.
Well, that's what they want. That's what they wanted, and that's what I think Game Radar. That's what these people want, is for these consultation groups to come in and make the moves that politically align with a very small coastal elite bubble. They want games to be like that, and they're mad that the Harry Potter game was not, and they're mad that the sequel is not going to be. Here's what the Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair is now admitting. Says she has admitted her company played a much deeper role in crafting the narratives of major AAA video games than previously acknowledged, while also dismissing critics as being against progress. The interview, analyzed by Writing Raven and Master of the TDS of Gothic Therapy, published in an article by Raven via DEI Detected, offered a rare, unfiltered look at how Sweet Baby Inc. operates within the gaming industry. What Belair revealed has sparked renewed debate about the studio's influence, transparency, and ideology. For years, Sweet Baby Inc. has maintained that it functions as a narrative consultancy, a company that advises studios on inclusive storytelling. But in the August 2025 discussion, Belair described her team's direct creative involvement in big games as something that goes far beyond simple narrative consultation. According to Belair, her staff worked on the narrative beats and character work for both projects, including key storylines. Folks, this company has its tentacles all over everything. And when we see things out of Games Radar, what they're really doing is they're furious that this is stopping now. And the excuses are flying now. And you can go read the article from that Park Place to hear what the new excuses are. But there's such a repudiation that now the game studios are having to flee from these groups that wokeified their video games, destroyed massive worth. I mean, huge amounts of value just evaporated. And they're trying to recapture control of things like Hogwarts Legacy 2 because they couldn't control the first one. Carrie, as you watch the economic systems that are put in place, a lot of people don't understand the machinery, the institutional power that is put to grasp power over things like video games. What do you think when we get into the nuts and bolts of how this works with these companies that are actually coming in and purposefully wokeifying entertainment, whether it's movies or whether it's TV shows or whether it's video games? Carrie, would it shock average people to know the kinds of controls that are put in place by these big institutions?
I think it would, although on the other hand, we have made such progress, I think, speaking of progress, in the culture war, that a lot of people are more familiar with woke now. I mean, a couple years ago, if I had spoken with an older person, like someone of my grandparents' generation, in the small town where I grew up, they wouldn't have known what I was talking about. Now even they know about woke. And so it's not as shocking as it would have once been. Is it a dirty word now across America, do you think? It is. That's why they run from that word now. That's why they want a new word. But if it doesn't matter, they're like any cult, like they want to control your language. They want to control criticism by saying you can't name what it is. We used to call it social justice. Then they didn't like that either at some point because most of the commentary about social justice became negative. Then colloquially people started using woke, and now they're saying woke is a slur, it's a pejorative, don't use it. But the real point is to not let you name it, because how can you criticize something that you can't name at all?
That's a great point, Carrie, because back in 2016, we would have called it an SJW game. Then it switched to a woke game. So what's on the horizon, do you think? What's the new term?
Before that, it was political correctness.
Yeah, PC game. You're right. Yes, this thing, it's the same thing morphing semantically over and over.
That's right. It's the same reason why liberals and progressives switch terms every now and then, because, oh, progressive is the problem. No, we'd rather be called liberals now. Oh, well, liberal is right. We'd rather be called progressives now. That one, they just literally go back and forth over a generation.
Carrie, is there a new term that's on the way?
No, because we've stopped playing their game, I think, for the most part. Like, they're saying, we want a new term. Woke is a pejorative. Don't you dare use that word. You can't define it. You know all the things they say. And enough people know about it now, I believe, that have refused to say, oh, okay, that woke is insensitive. Oh, okay, what do you want us to call it? We'll switch to a new word. You know, that sounds like people on the good side of history. Like, they would probably come up. They tend to name things that define anyone who's not in the group in a negative way. Like, even progressive, when they switch from liberal to progressive, they want to be called progressive. Why? Because if you're not with them, you're regressive, right? Like it's sort of, they're defining the opposite. Like, if you're not in their group, you're bad.
And yet they've lost total control.
If you're not anti-A, then you are pro.
Right.
Or anti-F, you're pro-F. Right.
Like, they call themselves
anti-racist. Kim Belair actually said, if people that rail against woke are railing against progressivism, like trying to basically say that you're against progress, which is just insane.
Well, they also do some other things too, because here's another claim that's in the article. No one has reached out a dubious claim. This is Kim Belair again. And again, we're talking about this because they're trying to get control of the next Harry Potter game. They can't. And we're finding out just how entrenched some of these companies were. It says, when pressed about the backlash from players and journalists, as in the games were destroyed by Sweet Baby Inc., Belair adopted a defensive tone. There are thousands of videos about us, she said. Now there's 1,001. But of those people, no one has written to us to say, hey, can I just ask a couple of questions about how this works?
Why?
This claim doesn't hold up.
That's not even true.
I'm glad she scroll back up to her picture. I'm glad she put her there, because I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. Is that Fox? Does that Fox have a collar on? Is that Fox being shocked? It's been taxidermy. Never mind. Whoops a daisy. Ron?
I was just going to say, so Sweet Baby Inc. is basically the Stories Matters group of video gaming.
Yep.
And why don't I'm like, I know I don't play video games a whole lot anymore, but I just don't understand on God's green earth why would you need that in a video game? It just doesn't, it literally makes no sense to me. Well, as far as everything you've said about I'm like, maybe that's the new term. Maybe Stories Matter or STM or something will be the new term. But progressive has always been a word that bothered me, because everything they do is regressive to actual society.
Can I say two quick things? I'm sorry.
Get in here, Carrie. Pop in.
Hi, Carrie.
The reason they put in video games, I talk to a lot of parents who have lost loved ones to this cult. A lot of times children. And I do think of it as a cult. I was in it for 20 years. And sometimes they'll ask me, like, but how did my child pick this up? Like, where did they get it? Who's leading the cult? Who's telling them to say these things and do these things and to cut their family off and to call us white supremacists and this stuff? And so it's everywhere. It's like a fish in water doesn't know what's water. It's just what's all around me. And so it's in, university, which is where I picked it up. It escaped the university. It's online. It's an online. If they're an online culture, you guys know this. You're all online a lot. It's everywhere. It's at K through 12 schooling now. It's in entertainment. It's in the movies. It's in the things that we use to relax and have fun. They put it in that even. So you're assaulted with it. So it's in movies, TV shows, video games, comic books, knitting groups, like your hobby groups. It's everywhere you go. It's even in some Christian churches that claim to be Christian. So it's inescapable. And I was watching this morning a video of a detransitioner, a young man who talked about how it worked for him. Now, he was specifically talking about the trans part of the woke cult, but it was the same pathway. It was in his social groups, it was online, it was in his school. There were posters in his school talking about you might be this, and everywhere he looked, it was reinforced. It's even in our medical institutions, woke ideology, the APA, the American Psychiatric Association. They put out woke directives to all therapists and psychiatrists, talk to your patients about their toxic masculinity and their white privilege, like these kind of things. So that's why it's in video game. Where can you go? It's in retro sewing clubs where people sew clothes from the 1940s. Do you know what I mean? Like it makes its way in there.
Now,
Like
let me show one more reason, Carrie, that it's in video games, if I can. I know everybody's ready to go on this. So many in the panel want to weigh in. Let me do one more item to add to the conversation. One of the reasons that it's in video games is because they've already killed the movies. Like really, really killed the movies. This is from Film Threat. Chris Gorenalling over there. Hollywood is super dead. I'm going to play a clip of this. I want people to listen in on what they've got to say. We have covered the article that they're covering, but I love the take that they have here. Folks, let's play just a bit of it and let's discuss it. They have destroyed the cinemas. They've destroyed streaming. Video games, they have not yet completely taken apart. That's why they want to go to the heart of what people are still doing in entertainment.
Hollywood is dying. This is a recurring story we have discussed a lot. We've discussed production leaving California. We've discussed the fact that, people have been out of work. We're talking below the line workers. And 42,000 jobs in Hollywood gone in just 2 years. This is from nofilmschool.com, entertainment news site. You have notes for this story. Alan, give it to me.
Yeah, if you work in Hollywood right now, you're probably heard the grim industry mantra, survive till 25.
All right, let's pause there because survive 25 turned out not to be true. Disney this year has broken the record for most flops in a single year. They have 7 flops right now. Now, one of them is not official yet. I guess 2 technically. Freakier Friday is still in cinemas. So, and then Tron Ares just started. But neither of those are going to break even. So Disney is currently at 7 flops for the year. Only Lilo and Stitch have made money. And so the reason that these people are going to video games, I believe, the reason that we're seeing that is because they've wiped out the other industries. And now they're trying to do the same tactics in gaming and say, no, you will bend the knee to what we have to say, Hogwarts Legacy 2. And we had a really super successful, you know what? Never mind. Just do what we say. Bend the knee.
Could there be a more nefarious reason they're doing this in video games specifically? Because when you're watching something, if I'm watching something, I'm not that engaged with other people. But if I'm online and I'm playing a video game and perhaps I can play with a group, now there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, I'm forming a group, and then the messaging doesn't just infiltrate one person. The messaging starts to infiltrate a group because they start to discussion. Oh, no, I agree about this. I agree about, and then that builds and that builds. Could that be like with video gaming? It just seems like it could be.
It's simpler than that.
Go,
it's
Marvin.
simpler than that. It's kids are playing video games. Kids are not going to the movies. Kids are not watching TV. Kids are playing video games. That's where you reach them, and that's why they're doing it. That's why they're putting in everything, and they're frustrated. And so one of the main things with the Hogwarts Legacy thing that I have to point out is they're not just angry that Hogwarts Legacy succeeded. They're angry that Dustborn failed. They're angry that Concord failed. They're angry that Dragon Age the Veilguard failed. They're angry because they're trying to do to video games what they did to movies, and it's not working. That's why they have things like the Game Awards, where they can basically put out propaganda, where they can have Jeff Keighley, the Dorito Pope, stand up there and talk about how that is what they call it.
I know.
He can stand up there and give an award for wokest game of the year as if that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
They are doing it because that's where young people are right now, and they have to indoctrinate them early if they're going to get them as adults to where they need them to be. Also, the other point I needed to make was that the reason why Kim Belair said that nobody reached out to her, we have seen Smash JT reach out to her numerous times. So it was an out-and-out falsehood.
No one that she acknowledges as acceptable has reached out to her in a way that she could deem worthy of response.
That's right. That's right.
when it comes down to it, there will always be people who, if you pay them to find a problem, they're going to find a problem. That's the nature of consultancy in general. Is you're not gonna pay someone to come fix your business and have them go, no, you're doing everything great, bye, thanks for the check. They will come up with things that you couldn't you couldn't imagine. In fact, that's what the Stories Matter group did at Disney. It may have even have been started with some level of good motives, but then they just had to keep finding things wrong with the parks and the movies to fix. I don't think a lot of kids started smoking because of Pinocchio, but they have to have that warning message at the start of Pinocchio. And eventually you get, what we're going to do? We're going to destroy Splash Mountain because it's unacceptable. Well, why? Because, we have to clean out these elements that aren't in the movie, but it's talking about this movie over here. Well, what are you going to replace it with? Well, we're going to replace it with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but we also have to sanitize elements out of this new one. Well, I thought we had to fix the other one because it needed to be sanitized. No. We have to fix something. That's not part of the question here. We have to change something.
I like that voodoo you do so well, Jonas, when you make that argument.
So when it comes down to it, people like this are high on their own supply. They're not very good writers. I've seen the product of their work, and in the games that I've seen that they work on, they play as if HR is in the room with you, writing the dialogue. They're trying to make everybody feel real great about life and everything. And, we're going to make sure that the cultural museum in the inner city neighborhood has all of the diverse artifacts put back there so that we can get back to saving the city from an alien parasite.
There is a line I pointed out in the article, the editorial I wrote. There's a line that Harry Osborn says in Spider-Man 2 that is so sweet baby ink, it's not even funny. They're in the elevator, but he's in the elevator repeater. He talks about the Emily May Foundation, and he goes, I even installed a diverse board to keep us on track. And I was like, what? Where did I come from?
Well, Marvin, get your bell ready. We need to give Culture Casino the chance to absolutely level this topic. He has been waiting in the wings. He's ready to go. Culture, sing the song you know so well. How did these people destroy the industries they entered into? And why do you think they might win or fail with gaming?
Well, they did it purposefully. I mean, Carrie and Ron kind of both led us into that aspect of it. It's planned. It's a planned infiltration. They are the parasites they want you to go and destroy. And of course, you guys already went into all the reasons why they name themselves the way they do. But it's worse than that. They literally are disassembling the industries they infiltrate because, again, that's ultimately anybody of this particular ideology's plan. So I would say that they were very effective early on in trying to control the quote unquote narrative and replace what is normal and part of American culture with some CCP, version of things, because it obviously leads into you will control nothing, including your life. You will adhere to every single one of our petty rules so that, your betters can, kind of control what you're allowed to do. There's never any opportunity to succeed under that kind of guidance. And when they follow their own rules, you can see it. They pretty much all fail, which is why nobody trusts Disney anymore when it comes to storytelling, when it film, television, whatnot, and why you see, what some people would call a visually impressive film like Tron and just not care anymore, which leads me to believe also that maybe finally, the stupid Avatar series will end with this final fire and ash and will definitely be burned to the ground, and we won't have to watch that garbage anymore.
You're not a fan of those Smurfs.
No, I think the blue people and the stolen storyline of Fern Gully, it just annoyed me enough that after getting past the visual beauty created with new technology, I'm just over it. Right. The best thing about the Avatar series was I got a land in Animal Kingdom, which had a dearth of rides, and add two more. One, not really a ride, more like a boredom fest until you get to the end. And of course, the Flight of Passage, which is Soarin' 2.0 based on the Pandora's Box attraction stack that was supposed to be aligned on a track, and that big thing was supposed to be moving forward, but you know, we didn't get that either.
Marvin, has he said anything that rings the bell yet? He's good. Continue on, Culture. You're still rocking.
I'm gonna go buy some seed potatoes, so you're not gonna get me to fumble. I will say this, that when it comes to video games, and I agree with Ron on this, is they use that because it gets to the kids early and it allows them to kind of control the fine.
I think that might be Drunk 3PO taking over Mexican Iron Man's account.
Yeah, it feels like it. But I just feel like that when you infiltrate video games, you are trying to control every single aspect of the narrative so that your line of thinking is now in younger people who don't have their defenses up when they go to play a game. Even gamers, like older people playing games, they're not catching the fact that, you know, there's this piece of ideology embedded in this game, and that when you hear it enough and it's acceptable in that world, they want to make it acceptable in your world. And they've been doing it through entertainment of all kinds, not just obviously video games, but film and television. And all those shows have been failing spectacularly, as Jonas J. Campbell would point out. And the level of offense that by the way, entertainment can be offensive for humor's sake, but if entertainment comes out and just insults you, nobody likes that.
You know, I'm going to assign you 12 barves for what you just said. That was the thing they had in the Dragon's Age game, right? You had to do barves. Was that it?
That's right.
I'm not doing a barv.
I'm going to do a barv.
Look, I didn't buy one of my favorite game franchises because of that nonsense. I think I have a friend on this panel who suffered that stupidity and now probably feels humiliated. So I won't call him out on this panel because he actually played this trash. So
he didn't finish it.
You know, Culture, if I'm Warner Brothers, though, with this game coming out, Hogwarts Legacy 2, I'm looking forward to the boycott. They might actually get 40 million in sales this time. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video, well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun. Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.